Hi, I'm Dwayne. Baby Metal gig yesterday at Makuhari Messe was a blast. It was awesome. I've never been to a concert as exciting as that in my whole life. This was hell of a gig with all these laser beam effects and smoke coming out and fire and elevated stages and all that kind of thing. And I'm sure all this full house of audience must have been really satisfied. And I'm one of them. And one thing really impressed me was they introduced their new song. Yes, new song. I don't know the title of the song. I don't know when they're going to release this number officially, but I'm really curious to know. 気になりますね。気になっちゃってどうしよう。気になっちゃってどうしよう。あれどっち、これどっち。パリヤパリヤパリヤリヤ。Yeah, song goes like that, man. That is one catchy phrase I remembered in my brain. So you find out later on when they are officially released. And another thing they announced at the very end of the gig was Baby Metal is going to go on a nationwide tour. They must have heard me requesting for that the other day. Yes, so people, Baby Metal fans in those cities like Sapporo, Tokyo, Yokohama, Nagoya, Osaka, and Fukuoka. You have chances to see Baby Metal members in person. Congratulations. Yay. Okay, today's lesson. Today's lesson is on the issue of subject omission. Subject omission is a discourse phenomenon which is seen various places of Japanese speeches. It's very common, very frequent in Japanese speeches. And this is one thing foreign students of Japanese language may find very confusing. That is why I tried to explain. This phenomenon is found not only in the Japanese language, but in other languages as well. And I took one example from English language. In English, we say, for example, I am hungry. I am hungry. I'm starved to death. But if you omit the subject I, you can still make the message across. You can make yourself understood, right? Boy, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Right? Still makes sense, right? Okay. How about this? Right? If you omit these two words and say, boy, hungry. Oh, hungry. Still makes sense, right? You can make the message across. You are making this remark when you are hungry. You feel hungry. That's why you say this sentence. Oh, hungry. If other person was hungry, you don't care. You don't care if other persons are hungry. Unless you are a kind of person like Bono of the U2 or Bob Geldof of the Band Aid movement. Feed the world, let them know it's Christmas time at all. Unless you are very interested in world famine, you don't care about how hungry your friends are. You make this statement only when you feel emptiness in your stomach, right? So even though you say hungry, everybody understands that you are the person who are hungry, okay? So in cases like this, subject is not very necessary. Okay? So this kind of subject omission happens across the board in Japanese. It happens so often in the Japanese language, and this makes Japanese language somehow mysterious. So speaking Japanese is almost like a guessing game. You have to always guess what the subject may be. Okay? And this issue leads us back to a part of the lyrics of Headbangeeeeeerrrr. Okay? Remember this part? もう二度と戻らないわずかな時を Okay? So here, let's consider this verse a little bit more. Let me elaborate on especially this verb. Okay? In this sentence, the central part of this sentence is this わずかな時 Okay, わずかな時 わずかな very short 時 time very short time which is a noun phrase. This is the core noun phrase, and all this part is a modifier modifying this noun phrase, and it goes short time which does not return. 戻らない means does not return, does not come two times. This is one chance that this short time comes. Okay. So in this case, when you say 戻らない, the subject of this verb 戻る or 戻らない is obviously 時 time. The time does not come back. The time never returns. Okay? Understood, right? But if you change this ra to re, 戻れない, which happens in the last verse of this song. In the last verse, BABYMETAL sings 戻れない. Okay? And I explained the other day that 戻れない means expresses a capability. Something cannot be done. Something you can't do. So 戻れない is not capable of returning. Okay? So the question here is, what would the subject of this verb be? Okay? In the case of 戻らない, the subject of this verb is obviously the time. The time never comes back. Okay? But if you change this little vowel to e and say 戻れない, the subject of this verb is I, the person, because the capability is capability only refers to humans. Humans are only capable of doing something. So the subject of this verb must be an animate thing, human thing, human subject. Only humans are capable of returning. So just by changing this little vowel also changes the subject. Okay? I cannot return to this short time. Okay? This short period of time to which I can never return. Okay, twice. I can not go twice back to this short time. So this short time plays a role of a object here in this case. It's an object. Return to the time. I am not capable of returning to this precious time. So this time is now an object, not the subject. See, in this way, the very little word even changes the subject of a sentence. And when you speak Japanese, you must always guess what the subject may be. And if you are a very keen listener and watcher of these videos, I've been introducing dozens of songs so far, and you must have noticed there are very rare cases where you find personal pronouns such as I or you, watashi or anata. These personal pronouns, especially the first person singular, watashi, almost, I would say, I won't say never, but very rarely show up in the lyrics, because, you know, first person is understood. It's given. It's a given information. You are singing a song of love songs, or whatever the song you're singing. You're almost always singing about you, about yourself. So a personal pronoun such as I is not necessary. So we omit them. The reason for this omission is, for one thing, economy. Economy. It's more economical to omit personal pronouns. And the second reason is we Japanese don't like speeches or remarks to be too direct. If you say something too clearly or too directly, people say, you speak too directly. You should soften your speech. You should use euphemism, or you should dilute your speeches. So we tend to make our speeches more ambiguous on purpose, just to avoid, directness or human frictions. Okay. We want to keep our human relations soft and nice and smooth. So omitting subjects and making sentences more or less ambiguous is like a lubrication. It lubricates our communication. And that's the way we Japanese are. We Japanese are ambiguous and mysterious people, maybe. And we don't like to be too direct. Okay? All right, thank you. And see you again next time with new song, maybe. Ciao.